Out of the entirety of the Breaking Bad universe, which actor stood out as the best? Today, we are going to find out. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. Guys, we're going to be ranking them in a tier list format today. Of course, going from SS all the way to C tier. Now, I do not believe that there is a bad actor in Breaking Bad. I think that whoever was in charge of choosing all these actors did a phenomenal job. All of the actors are some of the best that we've ever seen on television. And when ranking these, it's important to note, like, we're going all the way to C tier, right? We're going all the way to C tier. Somebody has to be last. All of these people are supremely good actors. Just some outshine the others. We're going to be saving the SS tier for, like, the absolute top. And the other thing that sucks is, unfortunately, we've had other characters get more screen time than others. And that, unfortunately, might end up affecting the ranking. But it's only natural, man. They've had more time to act, so we've seen more diversity in what they can do. So let's get into the tier list for today. Like and subscribe if you have not already, guys. Starting off with Huell Babineau. Huell's a good actor, but of course, like, I might end up moving these guys around. I think that Huell was very one-dimensional. It's nothing against the actor. It's just, and I'm sorry, guys, by the way, I'm not familiar with the vast majority of these actor names. You're going to have to forgive me. I'm just going to go by the character names. I'm not going to try to memorize them all for the video, okay? Huell, the actor who played Huell, had a very simple job when it comes to comparing to the rest of the cast, but he did a very good job on it. It's important to note that C tier does not mean bad actor one little bit. It's just in comparison to the rest of them. Tuco Salamanca. This guy brought anger to a new level, man. Like, this dude, he carried some aura on him, man. Just the way, like, he was just, like, looking at people. I can't even do it, man. I can't even do it. I'm just gonna look cringe when I end up, like, trying to mimic it. Like, yeah, don't you think you know who you're working for? Like, I'm gonna look so stupid doing it. Or, like, every single time Tuco was on screen, he ended up capturing the presence. Kind of like we've seen a lot with Gus. You knew that Tuco was about to do something crazy. Actually, Tuco's actor has kind of the same ability to capture a room like Homelander's actor does. Tuco, I'm gonna put him into the S tier, man. Fantastic at what he does. Just the switch that he can do. Amazing, okay? Steve Gomez, very good actor. I don't think that we've seen enough from him. Like, he just played, like, Hank's friend. He was a cop. Like, unfortunately, we didn't get to see too much from from Steve in, like, his acting ability. Okay, so we're going to put him into the C tier as well, right behind Huell. Jack, this guy played a very, very good D-bag. Very good. He did a really good job carrying around the gangsterish attitude, what he was supposed to do, but we haven't seen much else from him, but he was very believable. He made you hate him, that's for sure, and he made you want him to die. I think that really says something for the actor. I'm going to start off by putting Jack over to the B tier. Now, Francesca's a weird one because I don't know if this is okay to say, because I have no experience acting, and I definitely wouldn't be able to do as well as anybody that's on this list, okay? But I feel like out of all the roles, Francesca had a little bit of an easier one. You play a clerk. If you're in Better Call Saul, you're like a happy girl who wants to decorate things, and then you get slightly more depressed, and then you just have an attitude. That could just be your day-to-day thing. Like, you know? So, Francesca, she did a good job. I'm going to put her at the top of C tier. Now, Kim Wexler. Rhea Seahorn, is that what it is? I could be wrong about that, but regardless. Oh, something else that I forgot to mention, guys, is about this tier list. We're only taking, like, the main cast of characters. We're not going to dive into, like, Jesse's mom or anything like that, you know? Kim, ooh, I'm very tempted to throw her into the SS, man. And you know what? One of the best things that we've ever seen from her was actually the ending of Better Call Saul. Spoilers ahead if you haven't figured that out already. Where she broke down the bus crying. But that's not the only thing that she could do. She could play the happy girlfriend. Whenever she was doing those schemes with Saul, she could play literally any character that she needed to play at that moment. She could play lawyer. She could play serious. She could play lovey-dovey. She could play fearful. Any interaction that she had with Lalo when she was scared. Her range in what she can do is second to none. I might end up moving her down depending on who ends up getting an SS tier, but I'm going to actually start her off with SS tier, man. She is great. She had the opportunity to show her full set of skills, I guess you could say. Amazing. Hank Schrader. DEA Hank Schrader. He was very good. But the problem is, it's kind of like the same issue that we've had with Steve, where we didn't see a ton of diversity from Hank. He was kind of like, he started off as like the D-bag brother-in-law. He was a cop. He had the same kind of attitude that he carried out. And Hank's actor kind of plays the same character no matter where you see him. Like, I remember seeing him with The Big Bang Theory. I'm like, huh? That's Hank. And he's playing Hank Schrader, you know? So He's great at that. As the series went on, he got really serious. Like, he really tugged on the heartstrings for his death. He played a very good sick person. Oh my god, yeah. When he ended up having the fight with the cousins too, he ended up playing a sick person very, very well. I'm going to put Hank into the S tier, man. I'm going to put Hank in the S tier. Very good at what he does, okay? Howard. Ooh. From like a scheming lawyer to Howard being broken, he could play it all. I hope I'm not repeating myself throughout this entire video, guys, but like these guys can all play it all, man. This one's tough too. Howard was really good at being a D-bag. Howard did a great job at being mysterious in the sense that you didn't really know if he was actually on Jimmy's side or not throughout most of the series. I'm going to put him into the S tier as well. I'm going to put him... I'm going to put him at the bottom of S tier. I'm going to actually move Tuco. No, because we saw more from the Hanks actor than what we saw from Tuco. It's just like, the way I was looking at it is like, when Tuco comes into a room, you know. Like I mentioned earlier, that Homelander effect. Tuco walks in, you know something's about to go down, and Tuco did a great job at capturing that scene. Mike. Do I want to put him in the S tier as well? No, I don't think so. Or I was talking about SS tier. I don't think he's on the level of Kim. I might have actually put him down to A because Mike, we've seen like the old grumpy guy. He was fantastic keeping his composure. He was fantastic at, think about this too. He is an old guy that was so good at acting that he convinced you that he's a very capable fighter. Somebody at Mike's age would lose a fight to any relatively healthy, capable teenager. But he's such a good actor that you believe like, oh, you don't want to mess with Mike. That's something to note. He was very good at looking sick. He's very good at looking tired. He's very good at turning it on and like caring for Stacy, caring for his granddaughter. And the I broke my boy. I broke my boy was a huge standout moment for Mike. And I think that really carries him towards the top. So I'm going to put Mike into the S tier. I'm not going to put him into the SS tier, but he's definitely going to dominate the S tier. Better than Hank, better than Tuco, better than Howard, okay? Let's continue on to Walt Jr. This is going to sound bad, but I don't know if he's actually disabled or not. If he's not, that would absolutely raise it right up. But I don't know. I'm sorry. I should be primed with that information, but he's good at what he does, man. He's going to go into the A tier, okay? Jane. Ooh. Man, the problem with this is they're all such good actors. They're all such good actors. I think this is gonna fall into like it being unfortunate for some people just not having enough screen time. And Jane's one of them. She was good at the role that she was supposed to play. The drug addict, like not bossy. I guess I don't want to say bitchy either. She was bitchy to Walt. But Walt also kind of half deserved it, right? She was good at like manipulating Jesse. She was good at playing just like the cute girl next door that she was supposed to play, except like gothic. Or I know she wasn't exactly gothic. You know what I'm talking about. You know what type of character I'm talking about. Jane did a good job playing her. When she was crying, when she was screaming, a big standout moment from her is when her dad busted in and she was screaming. Like, very, very good performance from Jane. I'm going to put her into the A tier as well. Something I didn't mention about Walt Jr. is he really shined in the Ozymandias episode. Very, very good there. But I will put Jane in front of Walt Jr., okay? Marie. You hated Marie, and that really speaks to her acting ability. She did a really good job as the series went on. Like, I remember when she found out about Hank's death, her kind of collapsing, like, that was really well done. When she tried to steal the baby, that was really well done as well. She's just a very, very good actor. I'm going to put her actually in front of Jane, right up here. Chuck McGill. Oh, man, is he a good actor. From looking sick to scheming to just every single time he was feeling something, like he really made you... Chuck did a fantastic job at really making you feel, and I apologize for being disrespectful, not knowing these actors' names, guys. I'm sorry. But like, whenever like the lights would go on, he really made you like get into the moment with him. Other than that, like, and it was a fake condition too, which was crazy. And the whole scene, like when he was angry, when he was yelling at Jimmy, or "You're not a real lawyer," and just like, "You're slipping, Jimmy." I couldn't remember the entire line. That was a standout moment for Chuck. I am not crazy. Like, he really, really played his character beyond what a lot of other actors are able to do. And even he can sing too, Loses someone dear, the winner takes it all. Like, obviously my voice doesn't match anybody else, but Chuck has a good voice, and Chuck can do anything. The actor of Chuck can do anything, and he kind of proved that. Chuck's actor is going to go into the SS tier. Oh, is he better than Kim? Did he do a better job than Kim's actor? No. Kim showed, when you want to talk about actors being complete, I think Kim showed that. Chuck, he just wasn't given the ability to do it, but I'm sure he's more than capable of doing it. Now let's get into Werner. I don't remember like specifically the right name for it. Sorry, I should have just added close on this. Sorry, that was polluting the video over here. He was good at what he did, man. He was good at just being persistent. He was good at being annoying. He was good at just wanting to see his wife, being defiant. He was all right, man. We're going to put him in the C tier right behind Francesca, okay? Jimmy McGill, Saul Goodman. Now, I don't know where I'm going to end up placing the rest of them on this list because I have some ideas for the SS tier, but when I was brainstorming the idea for this video, I went, Jimmy's probably the best actor. Bob Odenkirk is probably the best actor. Like I said with Kim, he is complete. He can do anything. From staging a church phone call, to looking weak, to playing into Chuck's position, to being the lawyer, to switching it on and off just like that, from talking to Howard. I am like a god. I have powers that you can't even imagine. I can't quote the entire thing. I wholeheartedly believe that Bob Odenkirk is one of the greatest actors I have ever seen in my entire life. He is going to go into the SS tier as well. He is at the top. I would imagine he's going to take first spot, but I have a couple other contenders with him on that. Gus Fring. The problem with Gus and why I don't want to put him into SS tier is because he always played the same character. But kind of like Tuco, but I don't think he did as good of a job as Tuco, was capturing the room like Tuco did. Gus had a ton of aura, but he didn't have a Tuco level amount of aura. He was very good when he was angry. He's very good at his facial expressions. He's very good at being calm, like, hello, welcome to Los Polos Hermanos, and then just switching it to, I will kill your wife. I will kill your daughter. I will kill your infant son. Anything like that. Maybe he did do a better job than Tuco. I don't know. This is a really, really tough one. Gus, we've had the opportunity to see much more from him. He was so good at Gus was good at acting without speaking. Like in the elevators and stuff where you could see him actually twitching his finger a little bit, just and you could see while he's smiling, there's something going on in his brain. He's infinitely angry. Even then, when you had the backstory where his business partner ended up dying, you saw some range there too. The problem is Gus didn't break character a lot, and I know that was his job, but I have to knock him a little bit for that when comparing him to everybody else. This is tough. You know what I'm going to do, guys? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it more, I'm going to switch Hank and Tuco. No, because Hank did such a good job at looking sick. Angry. Yeah, when he was angry with Marie, when he was getting into collecting, Hank showed a wide range. Gus did not show that. He's not better than Hank. And, of course, the last time I'll say this, guys, he might be better than Hank, but he wasn't given the opportunity to show it in the show. Is he better than Tuco? No. I'm going to put him right behind Tuco. That's where I'm going to put Gus Fring, but still in the S tier, man. S tier is perfect actor. Hector shined in Better Call Saul. He played such a good D-bag, man, that you just hated him. And on top of that, just playing a sick old guy who was farting. As immature as that just sounded, it speaks to his acting ability. Him, he brought some aura as well, man. Him being the gangster, him being the big drug dealer, him being somebody that nobody wanted to mess with. He was very good. Very, very good. I'm going to put him at the top of A, man. Top of A. I don't think he's quite S tier level, but who might be S tier level is Todd. I don't know. Todd did such a good job at making you hate him just like Hector, but more. And Todd was creepy. Todd was good at being like, oh, hey, Mr. White, how's it going? And then just shooting somebody and being like, what can you do? He was so good at being so nonchalant. He was so good at being creepy. He shined in El Camino. The level of creepy that this guy brought was uncomfortable. It was unsettling. No matter when, what he was doing, you wanted Jesse to choke him out so bad. That's how good he was at his job. But I don't know what it is, guys. I still don't think he's just at the level of the S tier. I think he's just a little bit below. Because he didn't show as much of a range or a completeness that we saw from a lot of other actors, okay? Man, he's very, very good at what he does, though. I'm actually going to put him right in front of Hector. He's going to run the A tier, okay? Jesse. Aaron Paul. I had to think about that for a second. Aaron Paul. And I feel bad. One day I'll learn these actor names, okay? Again, you want to talk about complete. From him just acting like a gangster or like a drug dealer going, yo, bitch. Like, he was funny. He was good at rambling and telling stories. He was good at acting stupid. Jesse really shined when it was emotional moments. Jesse really shined when it was time to make you cry. When he was holding the gun at Gale. When he was breaking into Saul's office. When he realized what Walt did. When, speaking of the same thing, or what about when he was fighting Walt? Like, there were so many times where Jesse was acting, whether he's angry, whether he's passionate, whether he's loving. He drew out emotion from you. Actually, it kind of reminds me of Tom Holland in the sense, the way that Jesse's actually has the ability to pull some emotions out of you. He is fantastic at what he does. I think Aaron Paul is better than the actress who played Kim Wexler. That's where he's going to go. He showed a complete skill set of acting, and I think that's going to be what the SS tier is going to be safe for. Yeah, that's a good one, man. Badger, he was good at what he did, man. Like, he had a role to play. He was funny. He was dumb. He was a good time on screen, but he wasn't allowed to show too much else. So I'm going to put him into the B tier, right behind Jack. Gale, a little bit more of the same, guys. A little bit more of the same. Like, he had one kind of character to play. There wasn't a ton there. The only thing that we really saw from Gale was when he was going to end up dying from Jesse. Like, you don't have to do this. He felt like a little puppy dog, you know. Seems a little bit disrespectful, but you get my point. I'm going to have to put him in the B tier as well. I'm going to put him actually right in front of Badger. Lydia. I don't know if it's going to be a hot take or not, guys. Lydia was so crazy that you genuinely believe this girl was psychotic. She was nuts. She was worried. She gave you anxiety through the screen. You could feel the anxiety that she had. And just freaking out. She was so good at pissing you off. Like, Lydia, shut up. Like, just like Mike would always say, shut up, Lydia. Like, and whenever she would yap, she would make you angry. But that's the goal, right? She was so erratic, so spiteful, so anxiety filled that it really delivered the message. I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I think Lydia did such a good job at what she did. I'm putting her into the S tier ahead of Tuco. I believe she was great. Great, man. Really great. The cousins. What am I supposed to say about them? They didn't do anything, but they carried a ton of aura. No matter where these dudes showed up, no matter where they showed up, they were capturing the scene. Unfortunately, we didn't see enough from them. I'm going to put them into the C tier. Do I put them? I'm going to put them at right behind Francesca, okay? Now, Stacy. She was good. She was good. I feel like she suffered a little bit from not enough screen time, but she was good at being worried. She was good at caring for her daughter. She was good at the tough conversations that she had with Mike. She's a good actor, man, but there wasn't really a standout there. So I'm going to put Stacy actually right in front of Badger. Now, Victor. I'm going to put Victor and Tyrus actually in kind of the same area. They didn't talk a lot. They were good at being Gus's henchmen. I will say Tyrus was a little bit better because that facial expression, this one, like, he was good at like, he was good at like communicating the message where it's like, oh my God, this guy is really looking down on Walt, eh? They were good, but they didn't have enough screen time. So I'm going to also put them over into the C tier. I'm going to put them at the bottom, unfortunately. But again, absolutely nothing against them, okay? I don't recall this guy's name, but it was the vacuum repairman. He was good when we saw him. He did his job. He was just a regular guy for the most part, running a store, running an illegal business. He's going to go into the C tier as well. Nothing he did. That's a good way to actually talk about why I'm ranking some of these characters is where did they shine? How many moments did they have where they really shined? Did they blow my socks off watching this, you know? I'm not wearing socks, but you get my point. I think it's the first time I've ever used that analogy in my life. I'm just looking for a way to like justify my placements over here, okay? So, vacuum repairman, we didn't see enough from him. I'm going to put him in the C tier. I'm going to put him right behind Steve, okay? Skinny Pete, right there with Badger. Had some fun moments, had some serious moments, did his job. I would say Badger was a little bit more capturing, but other than that, we have some big ones over at the end here. Nacho. Nacho really developed over the series. And that goes to show how good his actor was. Nacho at the beginning of the show was good at being like just your typical thug. Then he was really good at being a D-bag, then you really cared for him. You had the relationship with his father built. He ended up being a very caring guy. He did a great job when he was on the run and being scared, and he really shined when he had that, I would say it's similar to the I Am the One Who Knocks performance, where he's like, you think of me, like, he really shined there, man. Talk about capturing the scene. Ooh. Do I put him in the SS tier? I hate piling the SS tier, but the problem is, so many of these actors really shined, and I would take your arguments if you were to say, like, Mike deserved SS tier. I'm going to put Nacho in the SS tier, but at the bottom of the SS tier. He was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Skyler. Skyler's actress was so... Anna Gunn. Sorry, I remembered. Anna Gunn's actress... Anna Gunn was so good at playing Skyler White that she spawned. And to this day, since Breaking Bad was airing, and I remember it because I was in high school, when Breaking Bad was airing, all the way to the day that I'm recording this video, that being February 17th, 2025, the meme is still alive and well. Where it'd be like, it would show a party. You'd be scrolling on TikTok, and you'd see a party, everybody happy, everybody having a good time, everybody hugging. And then it would say, Breaking Bad, but if Skyler was the one who had cancer instead of Walt. Anna Gunn did such a phenomenal job playing the bitch wife, the nagging wife, and I understand she was justified. You get my point. She did such a good job being a horrible wife, like sleeping around and all of that, that she has people hating her this much. It's like a Joffrey level from Game of Thrones. People still to this day in 2025 make those jokes. The happy birthday. People hated her. Now, for that reason, like, typically I wouldn't be like, okay, Skyler wasn't good enough where I don't think she belongs in the SS tier, but I mean, you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, I was going to put her into the SS tier because of how much of an impact she's had on culture, but Tuco's had that same impact, but not quite to the level. People are still making Tuco memes, okay? I think it's safe to say that Anna Gunn deserves to be in the S tier. I don't know what it is. Something about her, just her acting ability didn't really reach the level of the rest of the people in the SS tier, I don't think. But if you were to argue that Skyler belonged in the SS tier, I would not argue against that, man. I totally understand why. I'm going to put her at the top of A tier. I'm going to put her in front of Mike. I don't know why. I don't know what's keeping her from the SS tier, but that's where I'm going to put her. Two big hitters we have left. Lalo, Salamanca. Aura. Talk about aura, man. I think he's the most aura-filled character in the entire show. Now, when I was thinking about this initially, guys, I had 4 people in mind. I had Saul at number 1, but I was like, Walt could overtake him, Lalo could overtake him, Jesse could overtake him. Is Lalo enough? Lalo was so good at being psychotic, friendly, likable, scary. Lalo communicated the message just with his facial expressions. Lalo was so good at his job that when he walked into the room and when Kim and Saul ended up just cowering, you knew why and you felt that same thing. Lalo was good at being scary. Lalo was good at being vicious. Lalo was good at, even if he had to like riz someone up, if he had to like play a little bit of a lover, he was so good. And then that smile that he put on, just acting friendly. Like, just the scene with Gus. Or was it Gus? Yeah, he was in the restaurant. He was like, this chicken is fantastic. How lucky am I? You know, from just being the fake nice guy with a giant smile to being creepy with the axe and chasing somebody in a forest, all the way to just the way that he approached the whole Howard situation, or just sitting there staring at Jimmy waiting for him to admit what he did in the desert. All of it was amazing. He communicated so much without saying anything. Again, you can compare it to kind of like I was talking about with Tuco, but so much better. It's like the same thing that Homelander does. When Lalo walked into a room, he was so good at communicating what was supposed to be happening. Lalo is absolutely an SS tier. I'm keeping Jimmy at number 1 when it comes to Lalo. The question is he better than Jesse? Because I think he's a little bit better than Kim. Better than Jesse. Oh, man. Yes, I'm going to put him ahead of Jesse. I'm going to put him ahead of Aaron Paul. He did such a great job with his acting ability. Unbelievable. Made the show. Walt. Bryan Cranston, arguably one of the greatest actors of our time. What can I say, man? Like I was talking about with Jimmy, he showed a complete skill set. I don't think he showed as much of a range as Jimmy did. And when Jimmy did it, Bob Odenkirk, you saw he did everything so perfectly. But Walt was so good at, like, he had iconic moments like what he had in Ozymandias. The I am the one who knocks. Just manipulating people. Cowering. Being the loving, caring father. Being a teacher. Walt was phenomenal. I have to put him ahead of Lalo. I have to. He is a complete actor. Him and Bob Odenkirk showed so much more of their acting ability in the show, and they perfected it. I'm putting Bryan Cranston ahead of Lalo. Not better than Jimmy, though. I think Jimmy did just a little bit more than Walt was able to do. I think that's a good placement right there. I would love to know what you guys think about this. So, here is the order. We have Bob Odenkirk, Bryan Cranston, Lalo, Aaron Paul, Kim Wexler, Chuck McGill, Nacho Vergara as the greatest standout actors in the entirety of the Breaking Bad universe. Please let me know what you think about my placement down below. I'm open for suggestions, man, because I'm not sold on this idea. They were all phenomenal in this show. But the conversation doesn't have to end about Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Why don't you watch my complete review on the finale Better Call Saul? It broke my heart. I'd love to have you guys over there in that video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Take care.